Dean Legge from Dog Post, making you a smarter Georgia fan. I'm going to bring in Matt DeBerry now. Matt, let's listen to what Kirby had to say here on over the weekend during Georgia's virtual G Day. You just can't simulate it, he said. You really don't know what we have. If we had Jake back, we would be at a huge advantage, but we are at the complete opposite end of that. Well, that's certainly one way to put it. He's not the only one who's breaking in a new quarterback or even a new head coach. So Georgia's going to have to figure out how to get past this.
Yeah, well, he was being honest there. There's no doubt about that. I think he is, I don't want to say worried, but he's definitely stressing a little bit. You're talking about a guy who, is very detailed on every part of this program and this organization and the way it's run. And you got to tell him, hey, I know you're bringing in a new offensive coordinator and a system and quarterback, but they're all going to have to stay at home and you're going to have to miss spring practice. And again, we talked about it with Jamie Newman. Kirby's got some holes he's got to jump through in order to make this team as good as it can be. The talent is there, especially on the defensive side of the ball, and I think they're going to be absolutely fine there. Georgia's defense is not going to drop off, and they're going to be fine, especially with guys like Richard LeCount and some veterans back there now. But offensively, there's going to be a lot of work to do, and it's unfortunate for Kirby that they haven't been there this spring, getting all those kinks together, learning the offense, and especially Jamie Newman getting comfortable with not only his offensive line but the receivers and backs and everyone.
What do you make of the fact that he's played 4 years of college football and that a lot of this will be getting ready in the fall? This could be. It's just hard to see right now where Georgia will get together before the 4th of July. It's possible that after that they could have a real quick 2-week sort of mini camp. But what do you make of the fact that Newman specifically has played college football before? Stetson Bennett has played before. You got Dwan Mathis coming back, who has dealt with an injury a year ago, and of course you got Carson Beck, who has won a state championship at Florida's largest classification and certainly played well that season in this past. But none of those three guys, you just don't have them. They've never started a college football game before.
And that's what separates Jamie. Like you said,
Exactly.
He's got years of experience, not just one. Got beat out and had to transfer somewhere else. He's been around a while now, and again, it's not SEC level play, but he does have experience going on the road and playing in these environments. And he's shown that he does have good arm strength and the ability to play for someone else and make them a better team, which is what he's trying to do now. But the experience is so important, especially now when they're not together. As talented as I think Carson Beck is and some of these other backups, they don't have experience. They don't know what it's like just yet. And Jamie Newman is the guy coming in with a different skill set, too. We've talked about that so much already, but his experience, even in little old ACC, is going to take him a long way this year, I think.
What do you make, though, Matt, of two of the four teams, three of the four teams in the 2019 college football playoff had transfers as their starting quarterbacks? That is first of all wild, and secondly, It shows we're in a new era of college football. That just would have never happened in the past for a lot of different reasons. But Justin, Joe Burrow, and Jalen Hurts. I would imagine that if Georgia's hoping for a season from its transfer quarterback, they should hope for something approaching what Jalen Hurts did at Alabama, because I think asking what Justin did at Ohio State and Joe Burrow did at LSU, that's asking a lot.
Yeah.
Particularly
those two specifically.
Those two guys played the season before.
Right. Well, and they went to perfect systems. Ohio State is perfect for Justin Fields.
How do we not know that what Newman's getting into isn't perfect for him?
Well, that's the key. Is he perfect for this Todd Monken offense? That's what Georgia fans are hoping for, and I think he is. Again, Kirby's thought about this months ahead of time. He knows, who he wanted to target as the offensive coordinator, because I think we all knew James Coley was leaving, and obviously Kirby had his eye on some guys as not necessarily backup plans, but plans that would actually happen. So he knew he wanted a guy like Todd Monken, and he knew, hey, if Jake Fromm leaves, I'm going to need a quarterback. Let's figure out a guy who might complement that system well. So if he does come in and it just clicks with him, then that's great. But I'm not expecting a Joe Burrow, Joe Brady type of connection there, or a Ryan Day, Justin Fields type of season out of it.
But compare and contrast, Georgia's offense this past year was not explosive in any way. You get
No.
explosive at all, you start talking about Zamir White 2 years from an ACL, not just one.
Yeah.
George Pickens, straight resident freak. If you've
Yeah.
got a guy that can expend the ball down the field more, I mean, Jake, if he hits, LSU probably still wins the game, but the game could be very different if guys just catch the ball that Jake hit
Yeah.
on the deep throws against LSU. I mean, you got to, it's all parts got to go. I mean, Tyler Simmons had a tough end of career at Georgia.
Yeah, I was going to say career. Some of
did.
Jake Fromm's best throws were dropped. Some of the most
true.
wide open guys he missed. It was a little combination of both.
But these NFL people seem to love Newman physically in a way that you didn't see them fall in love with Jake Fromm. So my question is, can a graduate student from Wake Forest, which is one of the premier institutions in the South as far as colleges are concerned, academically, can a kid like that come in and play well, be smart, and not have to go crazy physically? Just do what you got to do when you got to do it. That's my question. But without spring ball, you get back to Kirby's quote. Here, I will read it one more time. On the quarterbacks, you really don't know what we have. If we had Jake, we would be at a huge advantage, but we're the complete opposite of that. What percent chance, Matt, is it that Kirby's completely full of it?
I think a lot of the times he is. In this case, I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, if Kirby knew this coronavirus was going to come hit us the way it did, I'm sure he would be like, hey, Jake, please go back a little bit more and maybe kind of recruit Jake to come back his senior year. He didn't know this was happening.
Well, but here's what Kirby did know some time ago that Jake Fromm was almost, it has been in place for 12 months that Jake Fromm was not going to come back for his senior year. I think something would have had to change for him to come back. He teetered back and forth a little bit during the fall, and I think at the end of the season he teetered not knowing Jake talking about. But Kirby's probably known for, it's different being a 40-year-old man looking back at what a 20-year-old's doing and understanding because you've been there before. I think he knew because the indications were told to me by people that are close to Jake Fromm who are not, who are legitimately close to Jake Fromm, that, he's probably going to leave. Probably means probably. Not just one person, and two people independently say that. Yeah. That means that's what it is. So Kirby knew.
I think if Kirby was being honest, too, he'd be totally fine with it. I think he wanted to have a more modern offense this coming year and switch things up. I think he was happy to do that. And but now looking back, I'm sure, of course he'd love to have Jake Fromm back. So I don't think he was full of it at that point either. So I think you got honest Kirby a little bit there.
And that happens sometimes too. What we're going to do right now, what's happening right now is we're going to send you to the 2020 playlist. What's that mean? Okay, why should you click on this? We're going through a lot of the stuff that you need to know while you're sequestered at home with the kids or your wife or your girlfriend. So go ahead and click on that, and Matt and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching Dog Post, making you a smarter Georgia fan.